Can you pretend that you're going down the 14th Street Bridge? It's almost 4 o'clock and you're going home. Traffic isn't too bad, but it's very cold. Then, out of the corner of your eye, you see a plane heading straight for the bridge. It hits with a crash and then takes a nosedive for the Potomac. Within seconds, nothing but the tail of the plane is visible. Survivor Joe Stiley recalls what it's like.
The water was just rising into my nose and coming up fairly quickly. It seemed like forever to get my legs loose because the seats had collapsed. And then I reached over to try to help Nikki get free. And as I get to the rear of the airplane, I know that I'm free because I can suddenly see just a glimmer of light in the water. And then I knew I was free of the aircraft and started up.
Stunned witnesses gather at the bridge and a news cameraman takes this footage minutes later. The entire plane, except for the tail, has disappeared. Joe and Nikki make it to an island of wreckage with 4 other survivors. One is a young mother named Priscilla Torrado, and the other is a flight attendant named Kelly Duncan. The rescue crew's inflatable boats can't get through the ice, and the sight devastates Kelly.
I really felt like I was kind of just losing hope, thinking, this is really going to be the way I'm going to die. I just didn't feel like I was ready to die.
When we got down on the riverbank, it was kind of an eerie feeling. It was snowing, you know, that quiet when it snows, and someone screaming for help out in the river. Made your hair stand up in the back of your head.
I suddenly felt the whomp, whomp of a helicopter. Then the Park Police helicopter came into view. The relief I felt at that point is unimaginable.
I have never heard such a beautiful thing as the day that I heard that helicopter.
The first survivor Eagle 1 rescues is Bert Hamilton. The pilot then throws a line to flight attendant Kelly Duncan. In an attempt to speed up the rescue, the pilot drops 2 ropes. One is grabbed by Joe Stiley, who takes hold of it, as well as Priscilla Torrado. The other is taken by Joe's secretary, Nikki Felch, but she is unable to hold on. Seconds later, Joe loses hold of Priscilla, but is still dragged to safety by the chopper. Bystander Lenny Skutnik can't bear to see Priscilla struggle anymore and jumps into the water to save her. As he swims toward land, rescue crews help drag her to safety. Once the survivors have been rescued and taken to the nearest hospital, investigators must now use the debris, the engines and the black box to find out exactly what happened to Flight 90.
Thrust readings for each engine are produced by 2 sensors, one in the inlet and one in the outlet. Together, they produce thrust readings by measuring the ratio between air pressure at the front and the back of the engine. But if the engine anti-ice system is off, snow and slush could freeze up the inlet sensors. On some other 737s, this has caused the sensors to send pilots faulty thrust readings, readings higher than the actual thrust produced by the engines. If this happened to Flight 90, the crew could, unwittingly, have taken off with insufficient thrust.
To find out, the investigation team uses Boeing's state-of-the-art flight simulator. To their surprise, the reduced thrust still could have kept the plane in the air, but when they factored in the ice-contaminated wings, they got their searched-for answer.
Flight 90 hits the 14th Street Bridge. The disaster claims 78 lives, including those killed on the bridge.
After the disaster, aviation authorities issued a series of directives to radically improve all aircraft de-icing procedures. They include measures that make sure that thrust sensors don't get blocked by ice. These changes make flying safer for every aircraft that takes off in the winter weather. But that's not all. The plane crash on the Potomac also became a case study used to train pilots on how to fly in extreme weather conditions. Pilots such as Chesley Sullenberg, the man responsible for the almost textbook landing on the Hudson River in 2009.